Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. So today we're going to talk about the incentive mechanism for online content. So we all know that the incentive mechanism is very important, right? Because it determines what kind of content do we see online. And blockchain has the potential of becoming the incentive mechanism of our internet. So it's really important for us to understand how does content actually, the economic of content, how does it actually works on the internet. We can roughly classify the monetization method as direct monetization and indirect monetization. The direct ones are like Substack, Patreon, the ones you see on the left. The indirect ones are the ones you see on the right. And interestingly, most of the Web3 projects, the NFT projects, fall under the direct monetization part. Whether it's community token, NFT marketplace, membership, things like that. They are the ones that the consumer directly donate, subscribe to the content creator, whether it's public content or exclusive content. But the indirect monetization, such as ads and referral and live streaming, there are still majority of them, or actually all of them, are still controlled by the Web2 companies. And if we take a look at the revenue or the amount of transaction on those two different type of monetization, we can see that the indirect or the so-called attention economy is much more bigger than the direct monetization. And it's actually the indirect monetization that kind of make up the internet that we would typically call internet, the user generated content ones. The ones that are heavily on the direct monetization are things like Netflix, Apple's, or like the Amazon movies. So it's a very interesting contrast, right? If we have the majority of the internet on the attention economy, why haven't we tried to do anything with it in the Web3 world? Well, I guess one reason is that attention economy has a lot of problems. We know that it's kind of problematic. It's kind of captured in this quote that if you're not paying for the product, you are the product, right? So we try as much as we can to avoid it. And attention economy is actually turning into something bigger, right? Because we have the capability of tracking people to predict how people behave. It also becomes something bigger called the surveillance capitalism. And it's becoming more reasons for people to avoid it. But the interesting thing that we have realized in the past few years is that information has this very interesting property, which is captured in this quote by Stuart Brand, that information wants to be free, but information also wants to be expensive. Because the cost of replicating information on the internet is so low that we will always, in most cases, get used to receiving and sending information in a free way. So that makes the fact that attention economy will always be the majority of the internet. It doesn't matter what kind of underlying technology we use. It's almost a property of human nature and how information works in general. So instead of avoiding attention economy, we start thinking about the problem that can we actually turn its head around and make it work for us, for the content creators, for the readers? Can we make it into a protocol, right? Because blockchain is the mother of protocols. So can we actually standardize attention economy and get rid of the problems that it has and make it actually work for us? So the attention economy we see today are something on the left. It's active, it tracks our behavior, it sells our impression directly. But we have another kind of advertisement which is passive, and the ones I'll see on the right. We see that every day on the street. It's not problematic at all. Sometimes it's actually interesting, right? It's very colorful. The big difference is that the one on the left does not have a boundary to see where our privacy is, but the one on the right is actually passive. So some of the experiment we start doing is that we're basically just minting online billboard into NFTs, and we trade those NFTs under Harburg tax. So it's exactly the same way as the billboard works in real life. For example, the one on the right over there is just actually an NFT, and whoever bought that NFT can put on their content as advertisement. And that revenue stream then go back to the content creators. So I think this is just only the beginning because the attention economy on the internet is such a big industry that there's a lot of opportunities in that, and we're only starting to scratch the surface. So thank you for your time, and let me know any questions.
Thank you. I always enjoy your sharing. Okay, attention economy. Anyone with any question in the audience? We have roughly time to take 2 to 3 questions. Any questions?
So you're auctioning off NFTs that represent ad space, and the revenue from that goes to the content creators on your platform. And does any of that money go to the platform as reinvestment to improve the platform?
Yes, in our particular case, 80% goes to the content creator and 20% goes to the platform or the application builder. But I think it really depends on the application itself. Whoever built the billboard has that choice. How many of that should go to the application? How many of that should go to the content creator? We expect that because the competition is quite severe. It will be the percentage that goes to content creators should be higher than, for example, what Google AdSense does.
Has that been enough to sustain you?
So for this particular case, the traffic is actually too low now, but if the traffic grow by around 3 to 5 times, it will be enough to sustain.
Any other questions? I'm also personally curious, what is your strategy for the traffic to grow 3 to 5 times?
Yeah, that's another topic, but that's basically the growth strategy. Well, I think the fundamental part is like how do we make the application to allow people to have deeper real connections, and I think that's fundamentally why people will stay on the application.
Basically continuing what you're doing right now. Yeah. Okay, we have time for one last question. Anyone? Okay, one over here. It's a tricky one. This is the only room where we throw the microphone.
So is it like something like in Madify, what it's trying to do? Madify?
Sorry,
On Hey, Madify?
positive magnify?
No. Yeah, I guess you don't. At Madify, I guess they are trying to do the same thing.
Can you hold it closer to you? Yes.
Yeah, they are trying to do the same thing. Like you can actually have the revenue model based on like like you can post, you can be the promoter of the things rather than we actually giving the money to the companies to promote your. So the more you promote on the social media, social media and the Lens protocol, the content, the part of it goes to the content. So I guess it's a bit different, but same to like what your indirect way of doing.
I didn't totally understand the
I guess
description, but I guess I can learn from you later.
Thank you. And that's it for our questions. Feel free to reach out to Guo after the event. He'll be around. He's always around. Thank you again. Let's
Thank you.
give him another round of applause.